Yeah, so we're back again, and I already know what you're thinking. This guy's really milking it at this point. Sos and 6ix9ine don't even really have issues. The main conflict is between Zilla and 6ix9ine, which I also initially thought, but after looking a little deeper into this situation, I think I realized that Sosmula and 6ix9ine actually hate each other. Take the time to separate the Sosmula and 6ix9ine situation from the Zilla Kami and Righteous P situation, because technically while they do correlate, they are two completely different situations and there's different reasons why each member hates each other. Are you confused? Well, let me try to untie this web for you. You know, Sosmula came into the picture during the Scum Squad days, initially meeting Righteous P at his mother's tattoo shop before accompanying him to the Shimigani music video. This is where he would meet Tekashi 6ix9ine and Zilla Kami for the first time, as well as appearing as a cameo within the video, pushing 6ix9ine in a wheelchair. This time there wasn't really a Scum Squad yet. Zilla Kami was still exclusively ghostwriting for Tekashi 6ix9ine, and Sosmula was still running with Rider Clan. There has been a little bit of confusion around Sosmula and 6ix9ine's first time meeting, because Gotti Miranda actually said in an interview that they grew up together.
Sosmula was really cool with 6ix9ine. He grew up with him, like he basically gave him his style.
But I don't think that's actually true, because Sosmula is at least 10 years older than Tekashi 6ix9ine, and Sosmula grew up in Brazil and then moved to the Spanish Harlem, where Tekashi 6ix9ine grew up basically exclusively in Bushwick. Now, I'm not saying there's no possibility that Sosmula and 6ix9ine crossed paths in the past, but I'm just saying that there's no way they grew up together. It just doesn't make sense. I think that's false information outright. Either way though, the two became aware of each other in one way or another, and it seems like right from the get-go they didn't really like each other. Sosmula was set to become the third member of the Scum Squad, and with his gang connections, 6ix9ine was sure to take notice, as in the past 6ix9ine had actually attempted to position himself as a Crip. That's when he used to run with the Scum Gang, which is different from the Scum Squad. The Scum Gang is with Scum Lord Dizzy. It was a kind of Crip set that existed within Bushwick, whereas the Scum Squad was something that Tekashi and Righteous P made up on their own. 6ix9ine used to run with the Scum Gang back in the day in hopes of becoming a Crip, but after they told him that they weren't really about the gang shit and they were instead trying to make themselves into an actual professional music group, he decided to just kind of jack the name and move on. So we can assume that 6ix9ine probably did the same thing with Sosmula, seeing as how Sosmula is actually a confirmed blood, but we can probably assume also that Sosmula shot him down, not letting him be part of the gang. You can see a little bit of this in the unreleased Sinaloa music video where Sosmula and Zilla Kami are seen flying red rags, where 6ix9ine is behind the camera not being involved in it. Anyways, I'm getting a little ahead of myself. Unfortunately, before the two could ever create a track, they were both locked up around the same time. Sos for prior drug charges and 6ix9ine for unspeakable sex crimes. This all went down when Tay Millie, a former collaborator of Sosmula, and 6ix9ine were set to record a track together called Shut the Fuck Up. They spent the day in the studio recording before heading back to Harlem to party at Sosmula's trap house. Keep in mind, Sosmula was not there at the time, despite what 6ix9ine would later claim. The two decided to shoot a music video as well as recording some videos to be posted on 6ix9ine's Instagram, where he would often post sexually explicit content. Tay Millie would ask 6ix9ine to bring some girls over to be in the music video, but Tekashi didn't have any at the time, seeing as how he was still in a relationship with Sarah Molina. So with no other options, Tay decided to invite a girl over that he had been hanging out with the night before, who happened to be underage. 6ix9ine and Tay then proceeded to take explicit videos of her and post them on Instagram. These clips started to gain attention online for how outrageous they were, and eventually they got big enough to be reposted on World Star Hip Hop. With all the buzz around the clips, it wasn't long before the girl's mother became aware of them and called the police, which caused both 6ix9ine and Tay to be taken into custody a few days after the incident, leading 6ix9ine to be sentenced to 2 months prison time with the condition if he finished his GED, he wouldn't have to register as a sex offender. He spent the next 2 months on Rikers Island before Zilla and Righteous P, alongside Scumbag Chab, were finally able to bail him out and get him back home. Keep in mind, this is a point of contention between Righteous P, Zilla Kami, and Tekashi 6ix9ine, but remember, Sosmula is actually in prison at this time, so he didn't pay any money into this bail. Both Sosmula and 6ix9ine were locked up at the same time, and from what we know, they came home around the same time. And once they got back, they started to record tracks again, like the tracks Sinaloa and Squad Up. Sinaloa was supposed to be the debut single off of the Scum World Order tape, where Squad Up was also supposed to appear on that tape. But after the falling out between Righteous P, Zilla Kami, and Tekashi 6ix9ine over the bail money, all these tracks were lost and deleted. Now I know it seems like we're covering a lot of old ground here, but this is where things start to deviate. So we know that Sosmula never paid any money into this bail, so the source of their beef must have come from somewhere else. Well, it turns out there was actually some hard feelings from Tekashi 6ix9ine about the whole situation surrounding his arrest. It seems like he actually blamed Sosmula for getting him caught up. Seeing as how it was Sosmula's friend, it happened at Sosmula's trap house, it seems like 6ix9ine wanted to blame everyone but himself, as you can see in these comments. Responding to one of Sosmula's posts claiming it all went down at his house with his friend, so if anything happened, it was actually his fault, as well as saying that he was free and his friend was in jail. jail, referring to Tay Millie. He responded multiple times to shot by Cisco, the guy who actually shot a lot of the videos for the Scum Squad before Trife Jew was in the situation, claiming that he made Zilla and Sos, and since he was gone, they hadn't done anything. He would echo this same opinion when he appeared on No Jumper to diss them even further, claiming that Sosmula was actually a fake blood and that his dad was a crackhead, clearly showing that there was a little bit of animosity referring to the whole gang life that Sosmula lived. It seems like 6ix9ine was a little uncomfortable that Sosmula was actually a gangster and he wasn't. Came next was the infamous Gummo track where 6ix9ine would say the line, "Shout out Sosmula, but I fucked that man's bitch." She would later edit out when he released the official version in hopes of not giving Sosmula any more clout, which you would think would be the end of their beef altogether, but it seems like things continued after this. Sosmula would respond to this when he dissed 6ix9ine on his track Kid Cuisine. But for the most part, he was staying pretty silent on the whole situation. He chose to not speak on 6ix9ine in either of his No Jumper appearances, not wanting to give him any more attention than he already had. It seems like Sosmula learned this lesson before most of the rap game did. This changed when Sarah Molina decided to repost a Gotti Moreno song that Sos featured on, leading Sleazy to take a minor shot at 6ix9ine, hinting that he might have spent a night with Sarah, shoddy style, if you know what I mean. 6ix9ine would take another shot at Mula on his track Billy with his line, "Bitch boys always jacking blood, but I know they fool." Once again referring to the fact that Sosmula was a fake blood. It seems like 6ix9ine may have been projecting a little bit here. At some point during this beef, Sos also shared a picture of Zilla Kami walking Tekashi 6ix9ine like a dog on a leash. I'm not sure exactly when this happened, but that's worth noting. The next diss aimed at Tekashi came when Zilla Kami and Sosmula were promoting their Rat Killer shirt. It seems like this was more focused on Skinny from the 9 and Squid Nice than 6ix9ine, but it was worth mentioning. Now, before we get into the end of this beef, I do want to mention that a lot of people claim that 6ix9ine actually copied Sosmula, so I want to see if these claims are actually true. First off, we got the colored hair, and it's kind of uncertain which of them had this first because 6ix9ine did have colored hair as far back as 2014, but there's not a lot of pictures of Sosmula around that time, so it's possible that he had it first. I don't think 6ix9ine actually took this style from Sosmula in that way because Sarah Molina does talk about it in the documentary that she was actually the one who gave 6ix9ine the idea to dye his hair in the first place. It's kind of weird how they both had green and pink hair at one point, but that's probably just a coincidence. As for the face tats, it's very possible that 6ix9ine copied Sosmula on this one because Sosmula was definitely the first one to tat his face out of the entire group, but at the time the whole SoundCloud wave was going on and face tats were pretty prominent, so there's no way to concretely prove that 6ix9ine actually stole the idea from Sosmula. As for the rainbow grills though, 6ix9ine definitely took those from Zilla. As you can see here, Zilla had the grills and even a shirt depicting a scene from the movie Gummo before 6ix9ine ever started rocking with that style. But we can assume that Sosmula believes that 6ix9ine actually stole the style because the line, "Who told you to dye your hair and get all those face tats" on the track Bakak. I also did want to mention this because a lot of people like to bring it up as proof that Sosmula actually tried to copy 6ix9ine, but come on guys, it's just a filter. I think we're reaching just a little bit here. However, 6ix9ine actually has been caught copying Sosmula in a couple cases. In 2018, he shared a caption, "There's two things that I've never seen, a UFO and a bitch I need." Seems like Sosmula actually posted that same caption earlier on in the day, and apparently after he saw 6ix9ine copy him, he said, "I can't believe I'm still in this guy's mind." Unfortunately, his post and that story are lost to history, but you just have to believe me that it actually happened. Say you don't believe me on that situation, well let me show you further proof that he actually copied Sosmula because here you go. Here's 6ix9ine wearing the exact same outfit as Sosmula a couple months after Sosmula wore it. Are these all just coincidences? Maybe, but I think we can safely say that Sosmula never left 6ix9ine's mind because in his Spanish interview in 2020, he actually brought Sosmula up again, pulling down once again that Sosmula was the one who got him caught up with the whole little girl situation and that it was actually all his fault. It wasn't just a one-sided thing however because Sosmula actually took the chance to diss 6ix9ine any chance he got, actually making fun of him when he found out that 6ix9ine was going into protective custody, as well as posting a picture of a rat in NYC after he found out that 6ix9ine snitched. There's also a tweet from Sosmula where he says that all the sex offenders should go to Area 51 so it can be aliens versus predators. Is that aimed at 6ix9ine? Not sure, worth mentioning. All that said, why do these two hate each other so much? Does it really all just come down to the case that 6ix9ine caught and the circumstances around it? Well, personally, this is all speculation, but I don't think so. In my opinion, I think 6ix9ine actually saw Sosmula as a threat from day one, seeing as how Sosmula was cool, tough, and pretty well everything that 6ix9ine wanted to be at the time. He was actually a gang member. I think that all made 6ix9ine a little uncomfortable. You see, when Righteous P came to 6ix9ine, he basically offered him the world. He would be a big time rapper, he would have this whole persona around him, and maybe he could even be a gang member if he tried. But as time went on, 6ix9ine started to get more and more paranoid. After the whole situation with the sex offense, he started to get a little bit worried that he would get cut out of the picture, and then he seen that his name got copyrighted, and then Zilla Tommy started to get a little bit of fame, going from ghostwriter to full-on rapper. By the time that Sosmula was introduced to the picture, I think 6ix9ine was getting a little bit worried that he was going to get cut out completely and replaced with Sosmula. So instead of letting that happen, he decided to completely freak out, blow up the whole situation, and get his name a little bit more attention. And hence that's why he went from having a normal conversation with Righteous P to having a full-on meltdown on Instagram Live, calling out everybody that he used to work with and just completely going nuts. At the end of the day, that's just my opinion on the situation. Let me know what you think. Do Sosmula and 6ix9ine actually hate each other? Is there more to it? Is there other things that I didn't mention? Let me know. I want to know it all in the comments below. And if you made it to the end of this video, leave a knife emoji in the comments below as well, so I know that you did. And if you want to subscribe, that'd be really cool. I'm trying to get to 10,000 subscribers by the end of the year. Can I do it? I don't know. Follow my Instagram, join my Discord server, and subscribe to my second channel because I'm doing a lot of interviews over there. And if you want to interview, hit me up in the Discord server. But either way, most of all, thank you guys so much for watching. Talk to you next time. Bye.